What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Tony Brienne, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the problem with social media filters. So this is a topic that has been on my radar for quite some time now. I say that about all my videos, but I'm finally doing my commentary channel dream, so that's probably why. So my friend and I had this one girl that we kind of make a joke about in reference to we've never seen her real face. I don't want to say it's a joke, but more of an observation. She constantly uses filters, whether she's on live, whether she's on her Instagram stories, and whether she's posting on Instagram. And we were just talking about the mental effects of it and how this has to be an extreme problem. So she is just one example of many women who feel as if they cannot post themselves without a filter on or editing their body or face in some way. So how did we get to this point? Because at one point, filters were just fun. Filters were first introduced to us back in 2015 with Snapchat. Some of the OG filters that we all know are like the flower crown filter, the dog filter, and then silly random filters that they would fluctuate throughout the week. Filters on Snapchat really increased the engagement on Snapchat because, like I said, it was a fun thing to interact with and show your parents and show your friends them looking silly. But very quickly, filters took a sharp left turn from what the original purpose of them were. Around this time, Instagram came out with their stories feature and they allowed filters as well. And these filters were all very much altering to your face, making you look almost completely different. These types of filters are known as AR filters, which is known as augmented reality filters.
And see, that's the problem right there. What's going on, everybody? Safar Sadek here. With you women, it's always about looks, man. How you look. And so finally, after they gave you social media, they now give you the ability to artificially change what you look like on social media. It sounds kind of harmless at first, but it really isn't. There's nothing harmless about this because you should know anytime you give people with low self-esteem the ability to change what they don't like about themselves, that starts down a path of no return and cause serious problems.
These type of filters almost completely erase every imperfection on your face and alter your face completely. Since platforms like Instagram and TikTok got their hands on these types of filters, it has gotten extremely problematic. So I broke this video down into 3 reasons why I believe Instagram filters and filters in general are extremely problematic, not just for youth, not just for women, but for everyone as a whole. Let's get into point number 1. Beauty filters on social media very clearly try to highlight a more Eurocentric standard of beauty. This consists of lighter eyes, lighter skin, rosy cheeks, a slender nose, big eyes, and those are just a few of the many problematic aspects of these beauty filters highlighting white beauty. In addition to this, the most popular beauty filters have even incorporated the Instagram look, which is currently social media's new beauty standard. This consists of bigger lips and a more slender face. The beauty filters being made in exactly what is deemed as society's image of beauty begins to have some people question what really is beautiful. From what these filters are showing us and telling us, to be considered beautiful by society's standards, you have to have certain features. And like I said previously, that's clear and lighter skin, high cheekbones, big eyes, long eyelashes, a fit and feminine body, a small nose, full lips, essentially erasing many ethnic features with just little inklings of them that makes you look more racially ambiguous, if I say. This is incredibly problematic for the everyday person of color who was already placed in a world where they aren't accepted. And when they go to their alternate world, which is social media, they still aren't accepted without altering themselves. Take a look at this clip of a friend and a collaborator that I worked with in the past sharing exactly how this has affected her.
Personally, for me, I don't use filters on social media at all. I rarely use social media because it gives a false reality. It gives a false narrative as to what you really look like and to what you really are.
Yes, it does.
Everyone is human. Everyone has acne, pores, every orifice on your body. And there's No reason as to why you need to cover it up.
Social media was meant to be an escape from the real world, but many of the beauty standards that are expected in the real world are now placed on social media, and they're actually even worse now. Like I said, this is increasingly problematic, especially for young, impressionable girls of color. Now let's get into my second point.
Before we go into the second point, women of color have always, since we were brought to this country, interested in Eurocentric features, as she put it. And so that's the reason why, see, they didn't have the ability to do a lot of that stuff back then, per se. So getting a position in the plantation, in the house, so to speak, was how it was done in times past. Well, now that we've fast forwarded 400 years, now most black women, not all, I'm not putting all black women in this category. However, this Eurocentric look, you see it every day with these blonde wigs, with these ridiculous looking eyelashes. And, you know, they even some years back came up with the ability for darker women to lighten their skin or bleach their skin. Okay? And so they were doing this in reality and looking like clowns doing it. Well, like she said, social media is an escape from that reality that they will never be accepted in, ever. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you live in your best life and this and that and the other, you're going to never be accepted in this Eurocentric society. So why even bother? You stick to your own people and look how your people look and everything and be satisfied with that, and you won't have these problems. But because fitting into this society for some reason is, you know, the ultimate goal, which can never be achieved, now that you are on social media, now you can really alter how you look, your overall look. You can alter that with digital wizardry, because that's what it is. Now, right, let's call a spade a spade. It's digital wizardry. It's witchcraft. I know y'all don't want to hear that. I don't care, because I got another video that I'm going to show you after I go into the scriptures and show you what's really going on. Okay, you're going to get a full, well-rounded video with this right here, unlike anything else you're seeing on YouTube or anywhere else. All right, so now they have come up with a way for you to completely change how you look. That's not good at all. It's not.
People are literally believing that they are becoming these filters, and this kind of ties into the first girl that I was speaking of in the beginning of this video. Some women cannot post on social media without editing or putting a filter on their body or face to some sort. Even Zoom now has a touch up my appearance feature on their platform, and Zoom is primarily used just for professional settings, so it's showing how a lot of these filters are leaking into our personal lives and our work lives. In 2020, the editing app Facetune saw a 20% usage increase at the beginning of the pandemic and has over 1 million edited images exported daily. TikTok is even flooded with numerous Facetune tutorials to further increase women feeling the need to edit their photos almost unrecognizably on these apps. Some people have even gone to the lengths to go to a plastic surgeon, show them a picture of them with a filter on, and ask the plastic surgeon to identically create that look for them.
What?
According to an article from 2018, a woman named Crystal did just this. Crystal said that she couldn't help but notice the way the Snapchat filter changed her face. She went on to highlight how the filter enhanced her chin, contoured her cheekbones, and straightened out her nose, which was something she had always been self-conscious about. She eventually went ahead and got the surgery done, and those were the pictures of the before and after that you guys are seeing on the screen. Because platforms like Snapchat and Instagram provide filters that let users completely change the shape of their features and adjust their looks, people are now struggling to look at themselves without these alterations. Plastic surgeons are now calling this type of behavior Snapchat dysmorphia. Snapchat dysmorphia, the term that was coined back in 2018, has now spread to other platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and even Zoom. However, the filters on TikTok and Instagram are way worse. And that's due to them making your face almost unrecognizable, dare I say, in the best way possible. And it's gone to the point that it's gotten so problematic that people are now putting filters on babies and children.
Damn.
So now insecurities about how children look is going to start at an even younger age. And this is very bad because, as we can see, the generation like myself that grew up with social media maybe at like 12, 13, which is already incredibly young, the generations after us are going to be starting this at the time that they're newborns, with their parents putting filters on them and showing them pictures, and they're being like, why don't I look like that? The creators of these filters can easily say, we use these filters just to boost confidence for people, and it's not anything that's meant to make somebody feel less than. But in all actuality, statistics prove that filters do more harm than good. And
Of
that
course.
gets into my third point, discussing mental health.
Wow. So this phenomenon has gotten to the point to where many of these women are so into this shit that you had this one female filtered her face to the point that she got what she wanted to look like, the reality that she wanted to create, not only on social media, she wanted to take this out into the real world to the point to where she went to a surgeon, mind you, hey, make me look like this. And y'all wonder why men are doing y'all the way y'all doing you, because you're not real. You're not keeping it real like you claim you are. No, you're not. You're not keeping it real. You're going on these dating sites and all this other stuff, anything social media related, and you're putting, you know what? When this crap started coming out and I got on Facebook, I was introduced to Facebook back in 2010, I think it was, or somewhere back then. And the only reason why I went on there because I wanted to see classmates that I hadn't seen or heard from in damn near, at that time, 20 some years. So when you go on there, you go, the women primarily, you see all these pictures and you're looking at that and you're like, damn, she looks really good. I mean, better now than she did, you know, when I was together with all of them 20 some years ago. What's the beauty secret? How the hell does she maintain her beauty like that? Wow, this is amazing. Come to find out, a couple years later, some chick came on YouTube. It was either YouTube or Facebook when Facebook was starting to do videos, and she blew the lid on it. She said, anytime you go to one of these dating sites, or Facebook, or MySpace was already out at that time, and I think Twitter was just coming online. And she was like, look at their photographs and everything. If you want to really know what this female looked like, contact her through that particular platform and tell her to take a picture of what she looks like, and you want to see it in 30 seconds or less. She was like, if the woman was disingenuous, there was going to be a problem why she couldn't do it. I was like, well, damn, that makes a lot of sense. She said, but if she was confident and had self-esteem about herself, she'd take a picture not really caring what she looked like and send it to you, and you can look at it and then go back and look at all the pictures that she had put over a timeline, and you can see they were pretty consistent. Anything that's not consistent and this female's looking better and better and better over time, when we know the exact opposite is true, this is what's going on, man. All right, let's look at the third one, and then we're going to get into something else. Mental health and social media filters.
I have a bunch of stats to read to you guys, okay? So I'm going to be reading for a while. So according to a Wall Street Journal report, 32% of teen girls said that when they felt bad about their bodies, Instagram made them feel even worse. And among the teens who reported suicidal thoughts, 13% of British users and 6% of American users trace those issues back to Instagram. A Canadian study published back in 2019 showed that the time spent on social media could further exacerbate or trigger body dysmorphia and image concerns.
Look like a dude.
All right, y'all, my camera definitely just died, and I cannot find the charger, so I'm gonna finish recording on my phone. So the quality probably isn't as good, but I'm wrapping the video up anyway. But like I was saying previously, just know that people that are using these social media filters have the same insecurities. They know their best angles. They know how to make their nose look the way they want it to. They pose this way. Everybody has insecurity, okay? And people only post on social media, especially Instagram, when they look their absolute best. No one's gonna post when they feel like they don't look good. Well, at least the majority won't. Some people are making an effort to post when they don't look their best to help ease these very, very tense beauty standards that are on social media and that we see every day
in
real life and social media. Because I'm gonna make sure to emphasize that real life is just as bad too, but social media is a bit worse because there are so many ways to change how you look without people seeing you in person. So like I said, just know people post whenever they feel their best, when they have the best hair day, the best makeup day, they know their angles. Just know that this is not who they are, and it's okay. So when I said limit your filter usage, that also incorporates you being careful with that little tweak. Like maybe you had like a pimple here, or you might like raise your eyebrow a little bit in pictures because you think it looks really good. Those little tweaks lead to the increasing amount of insecurities, and it actually heightens them because you start seeing yourself only in that vision. Altering your body does the same exact thing. Please don't do that. Altering your body is a whole different level because I feel like you're really messing with your mental. It's so easy to begin preferring your filtered self versus the real you, and that just starts from, like I said, that little tweak. And it's just best to avoid it. Use a filter for fun. Use it here and there. You might like how it looks a little bit, but don't
use it at all.
Alter your face, especially if you are a person of color. It is very easy to fall into the European beauty standards and trying to alter yourself to look that way. But just love your ethnic roots and all the ethnic features, because guess what? The Eurocentric beauty standard, especially today, they be trying to steal our features too. So please just stick to you, love you. And for those who try and get the more ethnic features, please love you as well. Love what God gave you. Y'all are all beautiful. You don't need to do all that.
Say it, sister.
Just accept who you are and have fun with filters. Filters should not be always a bad thing. Use a fun filter. There are so many other filters that
don't bother with that shit.
Like, what's my zodiac sign, what age I'm gonna get married at, what age I'm gonna die, which I don't play those games, but still, there are fine ways to still incorporate filters in your daily life without them messing with your mental health. All right, y'all, so that is the end of this video. I wanna know what you guys think in the comments down below. How do y'all feel about filters? Have filters really affected you? Let's get the discussion going in the comments.
All right, let's go into the scriptures. We're just gonna look at a few precepts, interesting precepts rather, on this issue, and then we're going to cut it up a little bit. All right, let's check this out. Filters, lies. Let's look at, start this off with James chapter 1, verses 23 through 24. Now, I've got a lot of emphasis on these precepts to keep this in the context of what we're talking about. That's how you learn. That's how you can use the word to get deeper into things that are relevant, and it teaches you a very interactive way of using the word other than religion, because I don't believe in religion anyway, or the Christian church or any of that garbage. All right, let's check this out. Now, I took the first part of verse 23 out because it's not relevant to what we're talking about here, so I'm going to pick this up here. He or she is like unto a woman. I'm going to read the emphasis so I don't have to keep doing this back and forth stuff. She is like unto a woman beholding her natural face in a mirror. That's where it starts. And when they're in the mirror doing all this, they already have in mind a certain look that they're trying to aspire to already. So when they go and start looking into the mirror, they start looking at everything that's wrong with the way they appear in that mirror. But this is what most of you women do. And so now this is the first step right here. Looking at yourself in the mirror. And let's go to 24. For she beholdeth herself, her true self. She's looking at how she really looks in the mirror, and goeth her way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of woman she was. Wait a minute, that sounds like some type of magic. And that's James chapter 1, verses 23 through 24. Let's go back and read that verse 24 again. For she beholdeth herself, her true self, and goeth her way, and straightway forgetteth what man or woman she was, completely forgetting what she looked like. Why? Filters. She looked in the mirror, saw all the imperfections that she didn't like about herself based on, what society deems as beauty. And so she started using these filters, that digital wizardry, online on social media. And eventually she comes up with an image that she likes. I mean, she really likes this image, y'all. I mean, to the point to where she becomes obsessive with it. And when she goes or walks away from the mirror, she's not worried about how she looks for real. She has this meme, as it's called nowadays, to aspire to now. And this is how she projects herself on not only social media, but in some instances in reality. And that's the reason why you see a lot of what you see in reality nowadays, man. These women are not being real. Why? Because they have insecurities and low self-esteem about themselves, and they don't like how they really look naturally. And that's a huge disadvantage they have. And these very same women are very combative, very defensive, very confrontational, and they exert a lot of masculine energy. Why? They're doing all that to cover those insecurities and those imperfections about her that she's trying so desperately to hide. And if she comes around anybody that makes her feel any certain type of way about this meme that she's projecting on society, if she gets around you and for any reason feel a certain type of way, like you may be looking at her like, yeah, I can see right through you. And she gets that's what triggers all this hostility in her. That's what you all are dealing with, man. You actually have the ultimate advantage. First of all, you have to understand what you're dealing with and why, and then how you can turn it and use it to your advantage. I mean, what do I know, right? All right, let's look at the next precept. This is coming out of what's known as the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha was originally part of the 1611 King James Bible when it was first translated. So if you want to know more about it, go do your own research. This purpose for this video is not to give you the historical background on all this. You got time, you can go find this out yourself. I found an interesting precept that correlates perfectly with the one we just read. And it's coming out of Ecclesiasticus, which is like the continuation of Ecclesiastes in the Bible that you know today, chapter 12, verses 10 through 11. Never trust thine enemy, which is most women these days, are our enemies. I hate to say it, but it is true to the game. Don't trust them. For like as iron rusteth, over time, iron does rust. All you have to do is expose it to the elements. It's gonna rust. That's what it does naturally. In the MGTOW vernacular, we call that women hit the wall once they reach a certain age. So is his weaknesses, or in this concept, so are her imperfections. Some, they start out with imperfections. It could be birthmarks, freckles, pimples, scars, whatever. And with our women, skin too dark, lips too big, face too skinny or chubby, hair too nappy, or whatever the case may be. There's all sorts of hang-ups that they have that they consider imperfections. All right? But like as iron rusteth or corrupts, so do her imperfections. Over time, she's going to become more self-conscious of them, and her weight is a large one too. It certainly is. These are all insecurities which lowers her self-esteem, and this is what she's guarding more than anything else. Not her vagina, not her virginity, not her dignity or self-respect. They don't care about that these days, the most of them. It's these insecurities and these imperfections that drastically decrease their self-esteem. This is what they're guarding. This is what the dragon at the mouth of the cave is guarding. All right. Verse 11, though she humble herself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of her. Although she approach you in a humble or submissive manner and everything, whether it be on social media and especially in real life, especially when you're looking at them and you're seeing all these wigs and weave and makeup and all this other stuff. Hey, I know you brothers like to get out here and get it in and smash and dash and all this other stuff. Hey, I'm telling you, the dragon is guarding something at the mouth of that cave. All right. That's why when these guys get with these this caliber of females, while they're always pumping up their ego, telling them, girl, you know you fine, you know you look good and everything. See, they need to hear this. This is the mental illness part of this false reality that they project. They need constant validation, especially from masculine men. But at the same time, they're always talking about how, you know, men ain't shit and this, that, the other, and blah, blah. But y'all love to get out here and whore around. And what you love even more than the sex is the flattering of this man's mouth, boosting up your ego. Why? Because that helps the dragon at the mouth of that cave to more efficiently guard your deepest secrets. Those insecurities you have, how ugly you really are. Yeah, that. So though she humble herself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of her. And thou shalt be unto her as if thou hast wiped a mirror. Well, why would you have to wipe a mirror? To clean it off. So what this is saying right here, when you dealing with these women, you deal with them as though you have taken away the filters that they hide behind so you can get a clear look at what they really look like. That's what y'all need to be doing. Forget about trying to smash and dash and all this other stuff. You need to see what this chick really look like, man. Because if you can mentally, and you can actually train yourself to do this. Yeah, there are ways you can do that. Do this. Do this exercise every day for about 20, 30 minutes. Get as many before and after photographs. You got many videos on YouTube and other social media platforms that do a lineup before and after. Do about 30, devote consistently every day, 30 minutes of your time looking at these videos. Just look at them, just watch them. You don't have to make any type of critical analysis or anything. Just look at them. What you're doing in your programming your subconscious mind to see the contrast between what's real and what's not. And I guarantee you within about a month's time, you'll be able to look at any female, be it on social media or in real life, and you'll be able to about tell what she looked like without all that crap on. That's what this is right here. This is how you have to deal with them, as though you had wiped a mirror clean, taking away the filter so you can see what's really going on. And thou shalt know that her imperfections hath not been altogether wiped away or filtered. That's deep, man. That's Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 10 through 11. And see, that's the reason why I'm so much into the word. If you strip away the filters of religion and denominationalism and this European white supremacist Catholic and Christian perspective of the word and use it like this right here, I'm telling you, man, you get so much value out of it that you can't get just by philosophy alone. This is very valuable right here, what I'm sharing with y'all in this context. All right, I'm not going to keep you long with this. Let's look at the last one, and then I have another video that I'm going to show you. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 30. And when thou art spoiled, or you have imperfections, that's what spoiled means. Anything that's spoiled means that it's been corrupted, like food. When food's spoiled, what do? Throw the shit out. When your kids are spoiled, what do? Well, you can't necessarily throw them out, but you probably should. I'm just messing around with that. But in this context, and when you are or have imperfections, what will you do? Because the dating market for you women nowadays is extremely competitive. You got the old against the young. You got the whites and other European-centric women against the melanated and darker skinned women. You got the women that are a little more educated and intelligent versus the ones that are, you know, common sense and down to earth. You have those that are more slender against those that are heavier. And the list can just go on and on and on and on and on. And let me not forget, you have the more masculine against those that are naturally more feminine. So when you have these imperfections, what will you do? Though thou closest thyself with crimson, though thy deckest thee with ornaments of gold. Yeah, trying to put on all these different outfits and everything, trying to make yourself look thinner and, you know, this and that and the other. But this is the part right here I want you to really focus on. Though thou rentest thy face with painting, in other words, use makeup, digital filters. So that's what these women are preoccupied doing. All these outfits, that's why they're so preoccupied with going shopping and buying all these different types of outfits and this and that and the other and everything, and they'll make it because they don't like what they see in the mirror. They hate the reflection of their true self. And this ain't something new. This is pretty much since the beginning of time, especially the older they get. Now, a woman that's basic looking in her younger years, she's going to pretty much be basic looking throughout. And the following video that I'm going to show you will explain all that. It's these ones that actually look really nice in their younger years are the ones that are more threatened by hitting the wall and downgrading. These are the ones that, you know, have the largest dragon at the mouth of the cave. It's them. All right. So though thou closest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, using makeup, digital filters, using the makeup in and out of reality, but the digital filters can only be used in this social media construct. In vain shalt thou make thyself beautiful. It's for nothing. But why? Let's look at the last part. Thy lovers will despise thee. The men you're trying to impress, they talking shit about you. They clowning you. They say you look like clowns. Or you're too fat. Or you're too black. Or you're too scared. Or whatever. They will seek thy life. And that's Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 30. So what does that last part mean? They will seek thy life. A lot of you women have went on this social media and you've bore false witness against all your neighbors with these filters, putting out these fake images and everything. Okay? Well, as we move ever so closer to the total collapse of this society, which is going to hit most of you like a freight train because you're not even thinking or looking about that, but that's going to be a very serious situation. I got a video entitled SHTF Pick Me Value System. If you haven't seen it, go see that. Because this right here is like a companion video of that. Well, as soon as that happened, no more social media. It's going offline. That's going to cause a lot of you women to commit suicide because without social media, you have no purpose in life. You're social media driven. Everything about you is based on social media. The likes that you get, the people that'll follow you, this, that, and the other, it's all based on an illusion. And those filters that you're using project lies. Well, when this society crash or burn like it did down in Venezuela, and y'all don't have access to makeup, or even if you do have access to makeup, it's not gonna matter. Because during that time, you're making yourself up. You're gonna make yourself up to be a target. Because men are gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, you know what? This is one of those idiot hoes that thought she was all that and, you know, looked down on me like I wasn't nothing. That man gonna be looking to kill you, rape you, kill you, whatever. Sell you for a bag of beans and rice, whatever the case may be. Society is gonna fail. There's not gonna be any more law enforcement, no more 911, no more public access to public, all that shit's going away. In the next video, I'm gonna, which is a video that I carried over from YouTube several years back before they, you know, terminated that channel. And it's, I put it on BitChute, but I downloaded it so I can link it to this video so you can see it and everything. It's gonna, you know, go into a little bit more detail about this from a scriptural perspective.
Without further ado, the name of this lesson is gonna be Cosmagic. Now, I think you know what word it's a play on. If you don't know, then, you know, ask somebody to look at the screenshot. But I've been seeing this shit more and more and more and more, and I'm starting to really pay attention to it. And most times, sometimes will have me to just really look at something, even though most of the time I'm just trying to ignore it and meditate and think about other things. But sometimes he'll just put something right in your face, and then scriptures will start popping up, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I need to cover this. Well, it's time for me to cover this right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in the book of Enoch and do some quick history on Cosmagic, and then after that we're gonna take it forward from there. Alright, let's look at the book of Enoch chapter 6, and we're gonna read verses 1 through 2. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. The word comely means they look good. Verse 2. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. That's Enoch 6, 1 through 2. Now this watcher class of angels was stationed around the earth like our satellites today, and their purpose was to watch over mankind and somewhat guide the affairs of mankind according to the will of the Most High. They had already been given their instructions and everything. Well, they were watching us multiply and fuck and all that other stuff. Y'all know how I do. If you don't not used to this channel, then you might not want to come over here, because I'm bold, blunt, raw assault. I don't give a damn. I'm not political correct over here. But they were watching us down here fucking and having a good time, and, you know, multiplying and having all these children and somewhat. So they figured, hey, let's get in on that. Now, notice it said in verse 1 that when daughters were born unto them, that they were beautiful and comely in a natural state. Now, I'm gonna show you what happened after these fuckers came down here and betrayed heaven and the Most High and the ordinances of nature and made it with our women. And they started teaching mankind forbidden arts and other things. But I'm gonna show you what else they taught man too, that you aren't hearing. Nobody else on the internet cover this information. So you're probably going to hear this first here. Let's look at Enoch chapter 7, verse 1. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and taught man warfare, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them. Taught us metallurgy and how to, you know, hunt down certain metals and stuff like that. Because before, man wasn't dealing with any of this stuff. We was too busy fucking. Now here's the part I want to get at right here. This is the meat of the lesson right here. And bracelets and ornaments and the use of antimony and the beautifying of the eyelids and all kinds of costly stones and all coloring tinctures. That's Enoch chapter 7 verse 1. See, that's the reason why they took these books out of the original King James Version Bible, because they didn't want us in this day and age to be able to go back and look into this stuff and put two and two together and get the whole picture. That's why they removed all these books. Yes, these books were part of the original Bible. Go do your own research on that. That's not the purpose for this lesson. But when you go back and you look into these other books and everything, you get the whole picture. So when these angels fucked up and came down here and decided they want to get in on the fuck fest and everything and start bearing all these hybrid children, which are known as the Nephilim, well, they started teaching mankind all these forbidden arts. This one, which pertains to women, was the one specifically that they taught, making ornaments and bracelets and all the shit that you see these women going crazy over today. Precious stones and pearls and beautifying the eyelids. The women were already beautiful in their natural state. They didn't need this shit. But there was a specific word used in here, and it was called antimony. So I went to Wikipedia and I looked up antimony, and this is what I found. Check this out. Antimony is a chemical element with symbol, what is it, S lowercase b, and atomic number 51. A lustrous gray metalloid. It is found in nature mainly as the sulfide mineral stibnite, stibnite. Antimony compounds have been known since ancient times, and were powdered for use as medicine and cosmetics, often known by the Arabic name kohl. Guess how kohl is spelled? K-O-H-L. Why does that name sound familiar? Some type of clothing store or something that appeals to women? But anyway, antimony, it said it goes back to ancient times. Well, we're reading the origins of antimony, making coloring tinctures, stuff, makeup, cosmetics. That's what these angels taught women. Not that they needed it, but what the hell reason did they teach it to them for? It's called sex magic. That's what makeup and cosmetics and all that shit is. It's a type of sex magic to overstimulate a man's sexual desire for a woman beyond that which is natural. Because men are automatically, naturally attracted to a woman. Her curves and, you know, everything that else about her and some specific other little traits and things that she might have and stuff. So the use of makeup and cosmetics is totally irrelevant. It's not even necessary because we were fucking before that. But then they come down here and bring this shit down here, and the purpose for it is to get these women in a state to where demons can attach themselves to them. Because, I mean, you look at a lot of these horror movies and stuff like that, what you see on the screenshot right now ain't far from it. Okay? Got their eyebrows arched up in the corners and got their shit dragging out from the corners of the eyes and looking like cats and all this other type of stuff. This shit is totally unnecessary. But it was taught by fallen angels, just like all this other satanic technology and shit that we take for granted nowadays. It's witchcraft. That's exactly what it is. Witches and whores in ancient times were the only women known to wear this shit. All other women were plain Jane. We're going to hit that up at the end of this lesson. But this shit here is witchcraft. That's what it is, a type of sex magic. Alright, let's move on. Because I got a little slideshow I want to show y'all at the end of this. Let's go to Sirach chapter 26 verse 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. Look at the fucking screenshot, man. Remember what I just told you. Only witches and whores wore this shit in ancient times. So, plain Jane women were the norm. Was the status quo back in the day. As a matter of fact, not even 150 plus some years ago, the average plain Jane woman, a wife, or a woman to be betrothed, couldn't even afford this shit no way. Because it was made out of all these different chemical compounds and stuff. This shit was expensive and not too readily available and not really known in a lot of parts of the world other than places that have already been under this type of influence. You best believe these secret societies and Illuminatis and Knights Templars and all these motherfuckers knew about this shit. Hell, a lot of them were wearing it. The ancient Egyptians, all of them, male and female, all these motherfuckers knew about that bullshit. But your average plain Jane women, they weren't too preoccupied with that, because women back then worked. They helped raise children. They was in the kitchen cooking for their household and doing other things that women were ordained to do. They didn't have time for this horse shit, unlike today, where they got too much fucking time on their hand and too much money, and they just roam around like cattle, fucking going from one place to the next with no true intentions or no true directives other than just waste fucking money and eat like damn buffaloes and look like them to a certain extent, but looking like this at the same time. Alright, let's move on. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 6 verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart. You men, here it is. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. It's something about the fucking eyelids, man, of a woman that these angels knew when they came down and seen them in their natural state. Man, if we enhance that, these bitches can become ruthless and just become like assassins with their eyelids, just causing men to go fucking crazy. These angels already knew hell their asses had done been seduced by them even before they started wearing this shit. So they figure, hey, if we go ahead and enhance that part of the body on them right there, man, that's it. These bitches have become formidable. Alright, let's look at Sirach chapter 27 verse 22. He or she that winketh with the eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart from him. So what part of the eye do people wink with? The eyelid. You see, it goes back to what I just keep saying, something about the fucking eyelids, man. They can be used in a type of witchcraft, sexual magic to induce and entice men to do shit otherwise they probably wouldn't even be thinking about. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 10 verse 10. He or she that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow. Yep, because usually that's how it's going to end up. Somebody going to end up doing something they're going to regret later on down the road, or they're going to end up doing something and find out this bitch is married, and then her husband's going to be looking for revenge. Like it's talking about, I think it's either the end of Proverbs chapter 6 or 7, one of them two. Go check it out. Alright, we're going to switch gears here a little bit. We're almost ready to wind this thing here up. Let's look at Proverbs chapter 30 verse 13. There is a generation, oh how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. Look at the screenshot. This is that generation. This here, what we're talking about, is that damn generation. Alright, at this point, I'm going to, let me get my other set of scriptures out right here that I keep on my phone, and we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 3. And I know most of y'all that in the know already know about this, but sometimes when you look at certain scriptures that are well known in a certain context, it just gives it a whole new meaning. So we're going to do Isaiah 3, and I'm going to start at verse 16 and read it all the way down to the end. I'm going to show you what's headed this way about all this shit, because it's already done run its course. So this is where all this shit's headed right here. This is a key prophecy concerning the looks and attire of women, not only among Israel but the world over. And I'm going to explain a little bit why afterwards. Isaiah 3 starting at verse 16. Moreover, the Most High saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Now, when it's talking about tinkling with their feet, what comes into my mind is these bitches from East India that wear these little chains around their ankles, and they got like these little, look like little miniature symbols or something on it, and as they walk, that shit knocks back and forth together and makes a tinkling sound. Yeah, And all of it, the purpose for it is to draw attention to them. Because we do live in a generation of attention whores. And not just women, which are primarily culprits, but a lot of men these days are looking for attention too. That's why you got so many fags running around here. Verse 17. Therefore the Most High will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. Now, that ain't talking about no other race of women, but the so-called Negroid women, primarily. Even though Israel scattered all over the world and is among all nations, but this particular curse here is to the Negro woman. And the Most High will discover their secret parts. Verse 18. In that day, the Most High will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet that the angels taught them how to do, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon, the chains, and the bracelets, and the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. Y'all see this? Verse 24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. Why is that? Because, see, I keep telling you all this. A woman was never designed to be with more than one man. She was supposed to be with her husband her entire life until she died. But see, these women have had all these laws and legislature and shit put in place so they can just roam around and do as thou wilt and fuck whoever they want to, and they letting all these dudes nut up in them and everything. And now as a consequence of that, they asses stink. All that nut from all these different dudes up in them, then they getting all these dudes' spirits and all these demons attached to them and everything. That's why so many women stink nowadays. No matter how much they wash their ass and no matter how much they douche and everything, they'll never be able to take away that funk of their adultery. And that was set up by the Most High, and here it is right here. And instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness. Just covered that. And instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Whew. Verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. Yep, all your simp supporters and your Captain Save-A-Hoes and your white knights and your Manginas and all these other effeminate homo thug motherfuckers that co-sign and take up for y'all and defend all this bullshit liberties that y'all have and everything. When all hell break loose, and it's a man, I wish it was happening right now. As a result of all these fucked up ass foreign policies, rising gas prices, rising food costs, and I've already covered this in other videos. As a result of all that, all hell is gonna break loose, and y'all's damn bitch ass dudes gonna fall by the sword. Verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. Now that distinction talking about all these damn dudes in the military, and these bitches gonna get cut off. Verse 26. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Good. Her ass need to be sitting upon the ground, walking around here like you damn God's gift to men, wearing all this shit and everything. All these war. And look, go look up some videos about Venezuela and see how their women, what type of shape they're in these other countries where all this turmoil and shit's going on. Go check them out and see if they look like this right now. But there's a few of them that do, and I'm gonna hit that precept. But the majority of the women are gonna go right back to that plain Jane appearance that they've had for so many thousands of years, and still had productive families. Hell, they had even more happier families back then when they weren't preoccupied looking like witches and clowns. Speaking of that, before I read this precept, look at this screenshot right here. Now, for all you motherfuckers that swear them down, y'all scared of clowns and everything, you ain't scared of this shit right here or the previous screenshot. So what the fuck, man? These bitches look like clowns when they put this shit on. They look like straight, and some of them don't even know what the fuck they doing. And this is how they look when they get out in public. Purple hair, too much of this bullshit, lipstick all fucked up, and wearing all these crazy ass looking clothes with big ass damn horse hoof shoes, and they look like a fucking laughing stock. Yeah, you dudes walk around here because you so sexually thirsty. You done had a spell cast on your ass by this shit. But you let a dude put this shit on and everything, now you scared. Oh, I'm scared of clowns. Cause you a clown, jackass. Alright, let me go ahead and get this other precept, and I got 2 more precepts after that, and I'm gonna do a slideshow real quick. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 30, because this is what some of you dumbass bitches are gonna do, in spite of everything I just described that's headed our way. But your ass, out of desperation, are gonna do this right here. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou closest thyself with crimson, which is red, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rendest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee, they will seek thy life. Look, the gig is up. When all this shit start happening, dudes ain't gonna be wanting to see this shit no more. The Most High gonna take that power of that spell away from this shit. So at those times when all this purging and killing and shit's going on, when motherfuckers see shit like this right here, they just gonna go in straight rape and kill mode. Cause they already despise your ass as is, having to constantly walk around eggshells around you motherfuckers, not knowing which one of you idiots are gonna come up with some false rape allegation or sexual harassment. This shit is preposterous. Well, you better enjoy your little high horse moment now, because when all this shit started happening, this right here is gonna be a leading cause of death. A motherfucker see this shit, and especially if he say he's scared of clowns, he gonna put your ass to death, bitch. And that's all there is to it. I don't give a fuck if you are upset or offended by what I'm telling you, because when this shit start happening, your ass is gonna be offended when all these other motherfuckers run in and out of it that you didn't factor in, and you ain't gonna be able to say no horse shit. At these times, these motherfuckers gonna fuck the shit out of y'all and then kill your ass. You ain't gonna be able to, what you say ain't gonna matter at that time. You gonna get fucked up. Alright? You done played the horde. Now it's time to pay the price. Alright, now, when you go back to your plain Jane state of being, which is where you should have always been, but there's a time and a season for everything. You had to have this time and season to judge Israel primarily and rest of these dudes. But when you get back to your state, your humble state, like how you need to be, here's a few instructions right here how you need to appear so you don't end up getting your ass put to death. First one, 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. I mean, you dress in clothes that don't even appeal to nobody. They wouldn't even look twice at you wearing this shit. Skirts all the way down to the damn ground, covering up everything like your ass on Little House on the Prairie. We're going back there with shamefacedness and sobriety. That means no drinking, no smoking, none of that horse shit. Like what a lot of y'all do now. Some of you high and drunk right now. Not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Nah, all this fucking around with your damn hair, spending all this money and wasting resources on your damn head, gluing skunk fur to your fucking skull, all that shit's going bye-bye, baby girl. You can just wash them naps and wrap that shit up like them bitches in Africa do and carry your ass home. Alright, here's the last precept. 1 Corinthians 11, and I'm going to read verses 6 and 10. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. Verse 10. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Yep, because of the same angels that fell for y'all's asses back in the day. Walk around with your heads uncovered and everything like you done lost your damn mind. And you wonder why all these safeguards have been put in places for your own benefit, dummy. Oh, we're being oppressed. Yeah, you're going to be oppressed, all right. Just you wait and see. All right, let's go ahead and do this before and after slideshow. And as I go through each one of these photographs, fuck the makeup and all that other horse shit. That's what bitches look like now. I want you to look to the left side of the photograph. That's what you get. You better get used to seeing these females looking like this, because that's what was going back to. Let's look at the first one. Here's the first one right here. See this motherfucker on the right? Look at her on the left. She don't look half bad. I'd take her. Alright, let's go to the next slide. Look at this here. Look at her on the right. Bullshit. Look here on the left. This bitch don't look that bad. I'd take her too. Let's look here on this one. Look to the right. Look to the left. You almost really can't tell the difference. See, that shit's unnecessary. And she's not bad looking. She's actually kind of cute. Yeah, I'd take her too. Look here. Woo! Wee! No said. Look here. She don't look too bad. I'd take her. Look here. You know, after about a bottle of new wine, I might be able to do something with that one. Look here. Not bad looking at all. See, a lot of these females, they be taking these before pictures after they done woke up, or after they done been drinking all night, or they're doped up or whatever, trying to purposely make them look fucked up so that they can justify giving them a makeover. They don't need that shit. Look here. Damn. Like I said, a bottle of new wine. Look here. Now, look at this sister right here. Look to the left. This is what women look like when the angel saw them in their natural, beautiful state. Right here. That shit to the right is completely and totally unnecessary. This sister is off the chain the way she looked to the left. And that's what we're going back to. I'd wife this motherfucker. Look here. If I had to, you know, go for a little bit longer than what I'm going now, I'd probably do some of this one. Look here. Damn, you can tell this bitch done lived in the club. Whew. She kind of hurting, but see, she got long blonde hair and blue eyes and shit. Motherfucker scooped that up in the day. Look here. Kind of pushing it here. Yeah, I know some brothers that'll take that one. Look here. Woo! Wee! Nah, I couldn't do nothing with that one. I'd have to stay MGTOW on that. Fuck that. Alright, that's it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, share it. If not, then don't. I don't give a damn. Peace.